I paid $17. They should pay the $35 a day. That's insane. Link on
But yes, it is.
All right, let's get the engine. It's last meet. I don't know.
All right, welcome in everyone. So this is our second workshop of spring semester. Those of you who came to our backend development workshop, you guys have seen, we use Postman APIs and you might have got free Perplexity coupons. At this workshop as well, we have free Perplexity Pro coupons for, all of us attending the workshop. I might just not use mics going too much. But yeah, just a quick intro of, mobile app development. You guys might have already done some sort of mobile app development before, or you might have not. It's all right. We'll, go through everything. But for today's workshop, we have a special guest, Yesh. He's like co-hosting with us, and he is very experienced in mobile app development.
Hello guys, I'm Yash and currently I'm pursuing my master's at ASU. I'm doing the thesis track, so I have experience in cloud computing as well. I have been the TA for mobile app development using iOS for I think 4 semesters now, so I've done quite a lot of coding in iOS. I have experience in React Native as well, and that is what we are going to do today. And we will also be able to actually run our app on our mobiles today itself. So that is a plus point I think we can take from today's workshop.
Yeah. All right, guys. So just brief intro of what we are going to do in today's workshop. So we will be using React Native and Expo. So how many of you have used React Native before? Okay, so there's no going back now. So if you guys are, you're just trapped here. We'll make the app, deploy it, and then we'll go. So anyways, if you guys don't know about Expo, we'll be using it to deploy and check in real time the progress that we are making. So when you code in React Native, it shows that what you're actually doing, it shows the live demonstration of it on your, mobile app. And it's pretty easy to use Expo. Once you guys get a hold of it, you'll start loving it. It's like magic. Very simple and easy to understand. Anyways, let's go through like brief intro of React Native. So what's React Native? React is React is a very high level programming language. It's case sensitive. You can do multi-threading, but the best part which makes React more cross-platform compatible is that it's write once, run anywhere. So the best part about React is you can code on Windows if you have MacBook, you can do that on like any system basically, and you can run that on Android web, and you can do that on iOS. Now we have had some workshops for introduction to Swift and coding, basically how to make iOS apps. That's very interesting, coding in Swift. Well, I realize that most of us are also having like Windows, so we thought of using React Native. So anyways, it uses JavaScript and React, and it has a very rich UI. Uses Flexbox for layout, which is like pretty much like web development, and it uses less memory as well. Now the performance is also one of the upper sides of using React. Native developments are like the native components are very simple and easy to apply. If you take a look at the performance that I was talking about in this graph, you have to see that using Barwin algorithm in React Native and in Flutter, in Swift, Java, Kotlin, React Native is actually much more efficient. Swift is also very efficient. Those of you who don't know Swift, it was introduced in 2019, or actually 17 if I'm getting the year wrong. But it's you use Xcode to make iOS apps using Swift, and it's pretty much easy. You use Swift UI for that. Would you like to talk about Swift?
I think Swift is very powerful, but again, right, cross platform. If you are doing iOS development, and that is the only time you guys would be able to use Swift. But we are doing React Native today because you don't want your app to be just on iOS devices, right? So you want it on both. So React Native has better performance compared to it, and I think more flexibility. So that is the reason we are doing React Native today. Maybe in future we'll do one workshop for Swift UI again.
Yeah. Exactly. So, anyways, Expo. What's Expo? So, if you guys see on the image that I've demonstrated here, it's very simple. How it works is when you run the dependencies of Expo, like when you run certain commands, what it does is you just have to scan this QR code on your phone if you already have the Expo Go app installed on your Android or iOS devices. You just scan that code and you just make it functional using the web, the VS Code web, or like the VS Code desktop, whatever IDE you are using. So it's very easy. The best thing about React Native is you don't have to have Xcode. It's very heavy. It's very performance heavy. It gives high performance output, but also you have to get like a lot of RAM to use Xcode and Android Studio as well. Also, React Native is pretty much like the syntax is very easy. It's very easy to understand versus if all of us has have done if kind of like Kotlin before, then we might know that Kotlin's syntax is not very easy, or like it doesn't seem like we have programmed in that programming language before. React kind of feels like familiar. Now, the setup is very simplified, and it has like, usually these pre-built APIs which you can call. And the one of the apps that we'll be making today, it's related to job application tracking system. We won't be showing APIs because we have a time foundation, so we won't be showing how to make it fully functional. But it can be done, however, just like give it 1 or 2 more hours if you're pretty much familiar with React. It just gives you that instantly, so it's pretty easy to do. And as I said, it's just like write once and then run anywhere. That's the thing about React. It's just like more like Java in a way. Now you can write and deploy on iOS, Android, web. As I said, we'll show it as the progress, as we progress. But you can visit this website, export.dev, online if you guys want to see, and then you will get to see that what they are basically doing with Expo. It's just lovely. Now, Expo CLI and Expo Go. So what's Expo Go? Just a brief intro. It's just a basic application. Those of you who have not used Expo before, I would ask you to install Expo on your mobile devices. You can visit expo.dev, and I will also be showing a QR code later on. Not this QR, it's just a brief intro of it. But if you just go on your app stores or your Play stores, just search Expo Go, because we will be using that on the app that we will be making today. So you guys will be able to see in real time what you guys are making. All right. So what are we making? A mobile app using React Native and Expo. Very easy. We have it running cross-platform wise, so it runs both on Android and iOS, and it uses Expo for fast development and testing. Features we'll build, it's just basically a home screen layout where you will have search functionality. You can see like job listings, part-time, full-time, nearby jobs, contract-based jobs, internships, all this stuff. And then we'll teach how to style all these things. All right, if you guys can go ahead and access these notes, this is what we will be using now. So open this in your web browser or on your phone. This is a notes that we have made using Notion, and it has a step-by-step functionality and guidelines on what we'll be doing. All right. Yeah. So we will get started with the setup now. So Yesh will be helping us with the initial setup, and then we have divided the workshop.
Okay, hopefully everyone can hear me clearly now. Uh, I think everyone should be on this page right now. Uh, can someone confirm that you guys can access the Notion page? Yep.
guys need any help, just raise your hand and
Confirmed. So again, going over today's agenda, what are we doing? We will be learning Expo, React Native, VS Code also, and also GitHub. I think most of you guys should be familiar with GitHub already. If not, it is a version control actually. So anything you do locally, suppose your laptop gets stolen, that's what it shouldn't be, but it is lost, right? So committing on GitHub or storing everything on cloud is a good idea. So we will also look into GitHub a little bit. Then we'll understand React Native and Expo that is done already. Then we are on the third step right now, which is project setup, right? So what I would request all of you guys is, if you have GitHub already, let's go to github.com and let's create a repository, a brand new repository. So is everyone on github.com already? Yep. So if you see, there is a plus icon right here. Let's click on that plus icon and then create a new repository, right? Whatever name you guys want, I'll just write a job application tracker, job app tracker, and then description if you guys want to write it, whatever, suppose mobile application development. Okay, and then make sure you are keeping your repository public. You can keep it private, but for today, you can turn it private later on to add your own functionalities, but keep it public for today. And if you keep it public, everyone else can see your work as well. So let's keep it public for now. If you guys want to add a README, I would highly suggest that, so that anyone who comes to your repository can read through the README and understand what you're building. So let's add a README, and then let's create a repository. So once that is done, if you should be able to see it, if you see in the, okay, I think dim lights are better. Then if you see job app tracker, my repository is created. Hopefully everyone is following good and I'm not going very fast. If I am, just interrupt in between and that should be fine. Then I'm here already, but let's go back, and then on a new tab, let's go to VS Code Dev, which is VS Code Online. I don't want you guys to download, create an account and stuff. So just go to VS Code Dev and then Virtual Studio Code Workspace. Go to this link right here. Then we will land into VS Code, right? VS Code is a code editor which a lot of people in the industry or for personal projects use, and we are using online because downloading it and everything is a hassle. So once you are on this screen, what you have to do is click on open remote repository. That will give us access to the GitHub repository we had, right? So once we click on this, there should be an option open repository from GitHub. And if you see, I've already connected to my GitHub right here, so I can see all my repositories. This is the one we created right now. But for you guys, maybe it will ask you to sign into GitHub. So if you guys can sign into your GitHub and then someone can raise their hand that worked for them, I can go forward and click on a repository.
if you guys face any issues with signing in, just let us know. It might probably ask you for a passkey, but yeah, once you guys sign in,
That's your password.
the reason we are using GitHub is because some of us sometimes don't have VS Code desktop installed.
Yep.
So we are using vscode.dev, and we will be using GitHub to, access Expo. That's why we require GitHub. Also, as a plus, you can, put this on your resume. Once you are done with this workshop, you'll be like, okay, I created a job application tracking system, and within 1 hour, you will be having your own app.
Yep.
One of the reasons why you have to publish this on GitHub.
So done. Oh, she has it out. Okay. So is anyone signed in to GitHub already? So again, repeating the steps, click on open remote repository, then click open repository from GitHub. It will ask you to sign in. Once you sign in, it will show you all your repositories.
Now go to VS Code. Go to
Signed in, signed in.
Just to recap, guys, you are doing it on vscode.dev. It is much more easier. You can run it on browser, real time, and it requires much more memory usage. Yeah.
You guys signed in. Okay. I assume you guys are signed in. So the next step we would do is find a repository. So if you see here, the very first thing that pops up is the repository I created on GitHub right now, right? Job app tracker. So I just click on that, give it a while. And then if you see my repositories right here, I have a README in it right now, which just says mobile app development, which was my description. And then if you see the next step, would be, if you see create GitHub repository, that is done. Second is connect GitHub repository with VS Code, that is also done, right? Then the third step is opening our terminal and connecting with GitHub workspace, right? So if you see, click on the three icons right here, and then there is a terminal button, click on that, then click on new terminal, and again you would have to connect this terminal to your GitHub code space, right? So when you click on this, it will again ask you to sign into GitHub. Just click allow, sign into GitHub, continue. Just give it access, authorize Visual Studio Code access, uh, use passkey or whatever, use your password, whatever you want. And once that is done, it will give you a configuration setting. 2 cores, 8 gigs RAM and 32 GB storage is okay. I think it will show you pretty much the same thing. So once you click on that, it will give you a pop-up of creating code workspace, and it will take you to a new tab. Give it a little while. If you see, there is a loading icon right here. Okay. Okay, so once that loading is done, you should have your terminal access as well. So this is an important step. So now can anyone tell me, has anyone reached here with me already? Anyone? No one?
Can you guys raise your hands where you're stuck at? We'll just help you out. Yeah.
No. So I think they are reached. You guys have already reached, right? Okay, that's good. And anyone who is stuck, you guys can raise your hand and then they can help you with the steps one by one. Okay, that is stuck. Again, just going over the steps. If you go to the document again, you can just see it, right? The first step was creating a GitHub repo. Hopefully everyone was fine with creating a GitHub repo in the beginning. Again, going over the steps, if you guys forgot, click on this, click on new repository, fill the information and click create repository. That is just the first step, creating GitHub repo, right? The second step was connecting GitHub repo with vscode.dev. So that is going to vscode.dev. And then there would be a button right here connecting to a remote repository. When you click that, sign in, that should connect your repository to your VS Code. Then the third step was opening terminal and connecting with GitHub workspace, which was clicking on this icon right here, going to terminal, clicking on new terminal, and then connecting that with your GitHub repo as well. So those are the 3 steps which we have done for now. And if anyone is facing any doubts doing those 3 steps, again, raise your hand and we will come there and help you. If you guys are done, then I think raise your hand higher so we know you're done. Okay. Yep. Okay. So a lot of people are done here. So let's move forward with the 4th step. If you guys see, the 4th step is download Expo Go mobile app. So Abhiroop talked about it already. So has everyone downloaded the Expo Go mobile app on their phones? Yep. So I got a thumbs up from there. So I will take that as a yes. And that app is important as that is where your application, you guys would be able to see your application. So make sure you have the Expo Go application as well. Then we will move into our next step, which is creating and running the app actually, right? So what you guys need to do is first thing first, copy this command, which is npx create expo app latest uh, -e with router. So what does it do? If you see, npx is a command which runs without installing any of the dependencies globally. So that is why we are using npx. And then create expo app is to create an expo app, as it says. And with expo routers are navigating between different pages, or what can I say, different views on your app. So that is why we are using with router. So just copy this command, go to your VS Code, not this one again, the new one which popped up, and go to your terminal, paste it, and then just hit enter, click Y, proceed, and then just give your application any name you want. I'll just give it maybe J JAT for now, job application tracker. Whatever you guys just give it a better name, not like me. And then let it install for a while. It will install the initial skeleton of your app. We will go through all the files which are created, so don't worry. There would be nothing which is not explained. So if you see here in the left hand top, left corner top, JAT, my app is still being created. If you see in the terminal, it is loading right here, right? So let's give that a while and let it install. Okay. Yes, yes. Okay, let us still install. Oh, yeah. Okay. So if you see, there are some warnings, but don't worry about those. Some of the dependencies we are using might be you need help. Okay, so if you see, when you reach here, your project is ready. That is when this step is completed of creating an Expo related app. And if you click on this, it will have quite a few files. Again, we will go through those files as well. But this is a milestone already because you have created your first React Native app using Expo. And has anyone reached this step? Okay, I see few hands who have reached here already. Okay, I see a few thumbs ups here and there. Has anyone having any extreme problems, or just if you guys are just following, that is still fine. So if you see, we have already created an Expo app skeleton right here. And then from setting up the folder structure, I'll hand it over to Abhiroop, and then I can help guys who have not finished. So just raise your hands if you're stuck and I can help you.
If you guys are facing any problems, Yesh will be at your desks and he will be helping you all out. So if you face any issues, just let us know. Just a brief recap, just a quick 1 minute recap why we use this npx create command. So you might already know npm, right? We use npm to install dependencies, but npm is used to run it globally. Npx is just used to run those dependencies, but they are not run, like globally, like locally. We will be using this create expo app latest, which creates a new expo project. It's pretty kind of like self-explanatory. Create, it means like create, and then expo, it just gives the extension for expo. Whereas if you see E with router, it initializes the project with expo router for navigation. So we'll be scanning the QR codes on our phone and you'll be seeing it in real time what the app is actually doing. All right, just give a quick hands up if you guys have completed that, and then we'll move ahead. Guys, if you guys are facing issues with Expo, so what you have to do on side by side is install Expo Go on
App Store or Play Store. So if you have Android, just search App Store, just search Expo Go on, like on Play Store. If you have an iOS device, just search it on App Store, and then you'll be able to download Expo Go. Okay, cool. So if you guys are done with the, this part, just give me a hands up and we'll proceed on to create like a folder structure and stuff. All right, seems like we're good. I'm gonna.
With the next. Okay, so you guys all might probably be able to see that, if you are in the Notion, you'll be seeing that we are setting up a folder and folder structure, and we are creating a folder called app, right? So go on your GitHub over here, just click over here, and do like a new folder, app, and that's all.
It wasn't a bad time.
You guys were able to follow through. So you just have to create, like a new folder structure, just like create an app.
Then
Once you guys are inside the app, we have to create a new file known as index.js. And then we have to create a file, new file, underscore layout.js. Hope you guys are able to follow through. All right. So we created new files under this folder structure under app. One of them is, index.js and the other one is layout.js. All right. So you should be able to see this code over here. You can just go in the Notion, copy it, in the layout.js and the index.js, and then just like paste it in the files that we just created. All right. So if you guys can see, I created a layout.js one, and then in index.js, I just saved the index.js. Cool. All right. So just a brief explanation of what we are doing here. So the index.js, it sets up a stack navigation for the app. And the Expo router makes navigation easier in React Native apps. Basically, we'll also be using, Expo for that.
Hello everyone. So with Expo, if you have downloaded the app, that is fine. You don't have to create an account. Your app will work without creating the account. Just be on ASU Wi-Fi. Your laptop and your phone should be on the same Wi-Fi. So just be on the same Wi-Fi. You don't have to create an account. Don't worry about that.
all right.
So as he mentioned, you don't have to create an account. Just be on the same Wi-Fi network. We'll be scanning the QR code on our phone that pops up, once we make the app. But hopefully you guys are done with the layout.js and index.js. All right. Now what we need to do is we have to install the certain dependencies that we need for this. Now, just a quick walkthrough of the dependencies. If you guys can see here, there's a command npm install expo font react native.env, right? So we'll be using expo font. The font will be, basically exporting the fonts, and you will be seeing those fonts in the Expo Go app. And the .env basically, loads the environment variable from a .env file. Now just copy this command.
We copied this. Just go here in your terminal and paste it. And then it will take a minute to like load. It will just run through it.
Yeah, the files. Like stuff that you use.
So
Still, it's installing the dependencies. You just have to copy this command npm install expo font react native.env, and it will install the dependencies. Just run it in your terminal.
You're building a table, you get
All right. So if you guys can see, it shows that added 980 packages and audited, 981 packages, which means that we were able to, run the command, but here it's still running. Once you run the command, you'll see these yellow warnings. Don't worry about it. It's not an issue at all.
So if you see, there should be a pop-up on your screens as well when you are running this command. In the right bottom corner, it says that we are installing dependencies which are more than, if you see on the left hand side, more than 10K, right? So when this pop-up comes on your screen, just make sure you hit yes, add it to git ignore. So what git ignore is, when we are pushing files to GitHub, right? We have to decide on which files to push on GitHub and which to not. So do you want to push 10,000 files on GitHub? Probably not, right? So whichever files you don't want to push to GitHub, you add them in git ignore. So if you see in git ignore, node modules where all the dependencies are installed, it is already here. But whenever the pop-up comes for you, make sure you click yes by to add it to git ignore. So that was one of the things. And if you see, the command has finished running here. Uh, has it finished running for quite a few of you, I guess? You guys are done finishing the command as well. Okay, I will take that as a yes from you guys. And then if you see the next step, again, Abhirup will go over.
Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot to Yesh for walking all of you through the requirements. If all of you have been able to install the dependencies, we go back to our Git again, and we see that certain packages have been installed. Now, just a quick intro. Again, what add modules does is we'll be using it later stage. What we'll be doing is we will be adding fonts using node modules. That's what we'll be using this for. We'll be adding some fancy fonts. Now we have to run the application. I would say this is the interesting part, like this is the most interesting part, which I really like about Expo. All of you just, pick out your phones and be ready to scan the QR. So when you copy this command, npx expo start terminal, just, I'll just All right. So as you see, I ran this command, right? You can just copy and paste it, and it will ask you for permissions. So you have to click Y, like give it the permissions. So you'll have to click yes. And there's a QR that pops up, right? Now, if you guys go and scan this QR on your phones, you should be able to see certain things on your phone on the Expo app. Just open your camera and scan this QR, which pops up on your screen. Right now, it won't give anything because we haven't built an application. We just have like an index and a layout. That's all. So it won't give anything right now.
तूने उस गलत डायरेक्टर में कर दिया. Yes. Okay, did that work for anyone? You did not have to scan that QR, but I'm pretty sure you guys might have gotten an error, right? It's red everywhere. So don't worry about it. So what happened is we just ran the command, but in the wrong folder. So if you see what is my current directory right now, it is job app tracker. But the application which I created is called JAT, right? So if I just do a ls right now, I'm not in JAT. So just navigate to that, do cd JAT for me. So that will take me to the correct directory. For you guys, whatever name you guys gave to your app. So navigate to that directory. And then let's run that command again, right? npx expose start tunnel. Okay, that's the QR for me. You guys will get your own QR. Scan it, and then it should start bundling. If you see in the very bottom, it is creating our bundle, right? So that is how it should be. So just navigate to the correct directory, which is the app you created, then run the command again. And it should take a while. If you see for the first time, it takes a while. It should bundle. And then if you see, I see it right on my screen. I can't show you right now, but I should see index and home, which is what we created yet, right? Which is index,
Us to go back.
which is our only page, home page right now. That is what we see on our phones, right? Anyone reached here? I think you guys have already reached this step.
Right.
You will only be able to see the index because we created a link.
That is, yep.
Yes.
Can you guys see your application on your phone? I see 2 people have reached there. You have reached there as well.
Yeah, that's what I got. That's right.
He has it down.
That's.
Yeah. Also, not on the Wi-Fi. That's why. Only on. Yeah.
Just inside the.
Be on the same.
Same network.
Sometimes it's hard to see the.
I know, bro.
That's
So,
little.
but try to. It's a lot of using right
You're
now.
on that first.
Like if it's problem, then try to.
That's like work.
All right, everyone has to be on the same network. If you are not on the same network, the Expo won't work.
You don't have to be.
Oh,
So when we get here, we scan it with that.
no, just your camera also.
Just the. And the QR.
And they accept. Come back, we pitch again. So.
Start bundling.
Then we eventually connect. 20 minutes each.
So.
Raise hands code.
Working.
There's nothing on it. It's just not- Alright, one, I'm just gonna update this shit right now.
Oh,
Thanks.
Scan it again.
Next error. Bots.
It's fine.
And then.
that the index was.
It's okay, error. But it's.
It is not pointing to the correct. It's okay. I think we'll.
What should it show?
Oh, that's weird. Did yeah, and then run the command. I think they have already gotten it.
Done. I start.
Yeah. The tunnel NPX Expo start tunnel. Yeah, not working. Okay, for that guy, it worked. Does anyone from you guys have a iPhone? So you have an iPhone, right? And it worked for you, right? What do you see on your screen?
Index.
Index and home, right? Yeah. Interesting. For them, it does not say index or home. Did you guys create the Expo? Did you guys copy the correct commands for index and layout? The correct code for those files?
Bro.
Okay.
I checked my. I can see it, yeah.
Well, it should look something like this.
Oh.
You at least have
New
the
index, but now it doesn't see.
Oh,
Do I have to
okay.
reset? No, before it was the original. Do I have to reset the?
Oh, so have the previous index code, and also if you see your index and layout are not in the app folder, it should be in the app folder. Yep, there is just one index. Yeah, just remove this one, push the layout to the app, then refresh and it should work. Okay. How many of you have finished it and can see it on your phone? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Few of you, okay, few of you from here as well. Yeah, so before moving forward, you guys maybe give it a little break and named it app.
No, no, yeah, I get it. No, but they're doing JS files. But JSX, you know, if you do it through
Let it install.
we started this out. Technically, JSX and return both HTML at the same time with used in React. Like,
Well-
yeah.
What's up? Yeah, so for Expo routing, you can use TypeScript, XML, JavaScript, XML, or JS. I just did JS because I used JS. So if you just change the extension to GSX, it will still work.
Okay, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, even if you use TypeScript, TSX, that will also work.
Make error. Identify, but the context is like JSX, how it doesn't make error. Yeah. How it doesn't.
Oh, it what can I say? That is happening because it is not React, it is React native. If I do this in React, it will give me an error. If you do it for web
Because-
development React, it will
Okay,
give me an
because
error.
that's incorrect filings there.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
But why not?
I'm not sure, but if you have, if you install, not wrong, Prettier was an extension, right? If you use VS Code application, this will give you an error, but it will run. So that's a little weird because React can work with all three of them, but did that work? Oh, okay. You are in the app. Nice. Close this terminal. Is it the name of your application? Yes, right? Yep. You see, that is what we have coded, right? Home. Yeah.
All right. There's some issues on iPhones that we are seeing. So what's basically happening is, ASU's Wi-Fi network is having some problems with scanning the QR code, particularly on iPhones. If you guys are facing any issues, we're having the event live streamed, so you guys can try that out later at some point in your, when you guys are at home. We will have it uploaded on our YouTube channel as well. But right now, what you can do is when you run the start tunnel, npx expo start tunnel, it will also give you a port, so you can open it in a web browser. It will show you exactly how it looks like on your phone, also in the web browser. So if you guys are fine with that, that should work as well. All right. Proceeding on with the next steps. Once you guys are, done with npx expo start tunnel, all of you who guys are who are like good with up until the next steps, raise your hand. Okay, seems like you all are know what's going on. So let's proceed on with the next steps. The next stage is basically adding more functions. since we have a time foundation, what I did was I was like, I'll write all the code down for you all right over here. You guys will just have to copy and paste it. I will explain you in brief what's basically happening here. So if you see this code like index.js, right? We are basically creating some components, and basically we are importing some things which we'll be providing, like we'll be giving you some helper code. They will be having some helper files and the images UI that we are importing from our that we are importing in our app. All right. So if you guys take a look at this code, the yeah, we will have to provide helper later. So if you guys can scan this QR, or if you want, you can visit this URL. You will get the helper code. So we have the helper code over here. If you guys can go here, let me just download one. Okay, so this is the one that you need to download. Just this zip folder.
Also do MPX, it'll also do JS.
Okay.
Still works the same.
Yes.
All right. So if you guys can see, I download this zip folder. Once the zip folder is downloaded, just double click on it. It will unzip, helper code. Now what I need to do is go on your VS Code, right? And just like drag and drop it over there. Or you can add it from the side as well. Right. So you guys should be able to see. So what we basically did is, once you have downloaded the helper code.zip folder, you go inside helper code. Uh, don't put the helper code folder directly, otherwise you'll have to, skip the directories accordingly. So the code that we have provided will work once you have imported these three folders in, the specific format. So only import assets, components, and, constants. If you import the helper code folder directly, we will just have to, adjust our code manually for like skipping directories. But the code that we have provided, it's just working for this one. That's not an issue. You can, if to skip the directories, if you already know the procedure, you can work with that as well. But anyways, coming on to the next point. So once you guys are done with, adding the components, the assets, and the constants, you should be able to see that we have certain files in here, like icons.js, images.js. All of these have been added. Header, home, there are some XML files as well that we'll be using. Once we are good with this, what you need to do is go here on stage 2 to add more features. Just raise your hands if you guys are good with the adding the helper code. Just give a quick raise of hands. All right, cool. So if you are facing any issues, I just see a few hands being raised. If you are facing any issues with adding the helper code, just raise your hands and we'll help you out. Zeal.
You have to develop backend.
You guys added the helper code? Have you guys added the helper code?
Say like,
Usually I always
There's an issue on iPhone now. There's an issue on iPhone now.
gonna enhance your.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, can you send it?
Working on
No, actually, you're the same. Yeah. It's
index and layout in the
much faster.
Now just
Just like
Next for DS and layout.
I can do this for you.
Didn't work together.
So just a quick thing, guys. So your layout.js and index.js have to be in a separate app folder. If it's not in the correct directory, it won't, it will give just like an exception error to you guys. Yeah.
Sounds of course.
So you should generate sites like this, and then you can say I'm a front end developer. I'm serious.
Yes.
I was like, this is like,
I don't know.
like,
Yeah, the app, you just need index.js.
It's either
Yeah.
Sure. Let me show you guys the folder structure real quick, and you should be able to see.
So the question is,
All right. So if you guys can see real quick, this is what we created, as part of the Git workspace that we set up. Inside the Git workspace, when we were creating, our own app, you guys might have named something else, but it asked for, setting up a name, my/app. So we set the name as like JT, job application tracking system. Anyways, inside that, like inside this particular folder, like when we close it, you can only see node modules, package.json, and the README file, right? Inside this folder, you have to create a new folder, which is app, right? Inside that app, you have an index.js and a layout.js. So that's a different folder. Just make sure you guys have your folders correct, and it should run perfectly fine.
oh, and then I can, okay, thank you.
Also, so just for a brief intro, for all of you who were facing problems with having, like the Expo not running on iPhones on ASU's network, if you guys run the start tunnel command, npx expose start tunnel, you guys will have a pop-up. If you click on that pop-up, it will show you what it's supposed to look like on your window. We're getting an error over here right now because we just made some few changes and we did not compile it. But if you haven't saved the change, like if you have saved the changes and have compiled it, you won't get like that error. All right, coming on to stage 2. So we have to add more features in it, right? So what you need to do is just like a quick intro. What we are doing here is, we're adding this one particular, like the helper code that we added. We're adding these popular jobs, screen header button, welcome. These are all XML files that we have already given in the helper code, and they are being imported from components. These two slashes, these are basically skipping directories, and we are using like, we are just adding a lot of import statements. We're using safe here. We have used scroll view. Scroll view will be used to scroll between the jobs and the internships that are shown over there that we'll be seeing in our app. So if you guys go over here, just copy it, and in the index.js, which is over here, paste the code. All right, you guys should be able to complete the index.js, like adding more features to index.js.
Yeah,
We also have to update underscore layout.js. So what we are doing in layout.js is, we are basically making some fonts. So if you guys see over here, we are using sans bold, sans medium, sans regular. We'll be having these different sets of fonts to differentiate between the functionalities and the UI elements of our application. Just give a quick raise of hands if you guys are having any issues, or like if you guys are following through the code. Just let me know, and then we can proceed on.
I had a typo. When you also patient, there are certain issues.
I just have the GSX file.
All right. So you guys can probably see that here we have, completed the layout JS. What we are doing in layout JS is exporting the default layout, and we are, importing these fonts. That's basically what's happening up until right now. In the index.js, meanwhile, we are exporting like default home screen that we are making, and then we are like stacking these up. All these components here, they're basically just adding the UI elements. And then if you see, stack screen header button, 60%, it's like towards the left. This thing over here, it's just like something towards the right. That's what we are doing basically over here. All right. Now what you need to do is, once you guys have completed it, once you guys are done with index.js and layout.js, we have to work on screen header button. So to work on the screen header button, what you can follow is
that file.
if you guys
I got it.
take a quick look over here, we have screen header button, right?
Tell me one.
Go in your underscore layout.js, you will see a screen header button, let's say on line number 22.
Seriously.
Go on line number 22 and you will see a screen header button. Once you guys are on the screen header button, those of you who are using Macs, you will have to use, command button and just click on the screen header button. And you will be redirected to the XML file of the screen header button. Those of you who are using Windows, I think you have to use Control and click on that command, like on the button, screen header button, and you'll be directed towards this directory. If you see it under JAT, Job Application Tracking, you see components which we added as a helper code. And then if you go under header, we have a screen header button, right? Now we need to add changes. Obviously, this doesn't have anything right now. It just shows, like a text and then view. That's all. And we are just importing it by default. So we are not really doing anything right now in here. What we need to do is copy the code for the screen header button. You guys can just copy it.
Yeah.
Since we have a time foundation, I'll just quickly give you an overview of what we're basically doing here. So screen header button, what we are doing is on our job application tracking app, which is supposed to, be working on our phone. Once it's complete, what it will be showing it is it'll basically have a clickable icon. Once you click on that icon, it will be like fully functional and it will show you, like a navigation map of like how the app is supposed to be working. It's a very simple app. Think of it as more as something creating like a handshake or some other app or some other job app which you have used before. But this will be only specific for the jobs that we have applied for. I'll just give you guys like quick 2 minutes if you guys can like follow along. If you guys want to go to the, Notion page, the notes that we have given, just follow up until here. I'll just give 2 minutes and then we'll proceed for the welcome component. And then we'll be taking, like a quick break. We'll be giving out pizzas. You guys can get the Perplexity coupons and then we'll proceed with the rest of the workshop.
सब जगह पे डालते कि ये इस फोटो में कौन से नाम भी create आपका नाम
Or not style.
All right, guys.
I think any of you who faced any problem with running in the wrong directory, so the thing is you have to run the npx expo start tunnel command when you are inside the directory that you created for the app, not like the app folder, but more like not the particular folder where you have the underscore layout.js and index.js, but inside the name that we kept, which was like my hyphen app, that one. So we kept the name as JAT. If you guys kept some other name, if you're inside that directory, you just have to run it inside your terminal, that particular command, and it should be just fine.
And then instead of button,
All right, if you guys are good, let's complete the welcome XML component, and then just let's take a quick break. Now, just how we were in underscore layout.js, if you go in your layout.js, you will see this particular thing. If you, just a second.
Jobs are on your resume. And
If you go on your underscore layout.js and scroll to line number 38, specifically, if you copied the code, you have to go on line number 38. If you guys can see my command. So if you guys go on line number 38, you have to click control and then hit the mouse if you're using Windows. If you guys are using Macs, then you have to use command and then just like click on it. If you guys are having any troubles with that, let me just show you where the welcome.jsx file is supposed to be. So the components that we imported, if you go under components, like the helper code folder that we gave, if you go under components and then you just go under header, right? After header, you have to find the home, right? When you go in home, you will see a welcome. So if you double click on the welcome.jsx, this is all we have right now. So what we are doing is creating a welcome screen where it basically greets you that just like on any other app that okay, this is what we are doing. Hello Abirup, hello Harish, hello Zeal, something like that, and then it just gives like a brief welcome message. So what we're doing is here is just creating a welcome screen. You guys should just go and copy this code from like the welcome.jsx, or if you want, you can take a quick look at it. But basically, we're just creating a welcome user screen and a search bar. Now we'll be using the search bar if you guys want to completely finish this app. We will not be implementing the APIs in this workshop, but later on at some point at home, when you go at home, you can reach out to me after this workshop and I'll tell you how to implement the APIs if you are interested. But you can call the APIs and it will, link you to, you can even go to like jobs.com or any other website and it will dynamically fetch all the data and it will show you on the welcome screen. This is why we are using this welcome XML file for, to create like a search bar, and then you can filter these jobs out by categories like contract based jobs, internships, full-time, part-time. So that's what we're doing here. All right, let's go here and complete the welcome section.
Oh, you're younger. Yeah. 18? You're not fresh.
I came here at 17.
Really? Started college?
Yes. I was older than you. I thought you don't look it. You look older. That's why you'd be 20 or 21. That's why girls say that you do something big. Previous year I was like 17, and she's like.
That's right, yeah, when you were
She's like.
oh shit, this guy. Not even playing, it's like playing with words, man. Just so as. It's like.
All right, so I just completed the welcome section. And once I was done at the welcome section, I opened the app on my phone and it's working fine. If you guys are good until the welcome section, it's all good. If you need any help, just give a quick hand raise so at least you guys are done until the welcome section.
What's this there? I don't know.
And then for.
That's a directory here.
So, you know, it's.
I see. So some strings were temporary. So the thing is, I mean, over here in the index.js, some elements were like misplaced or exactly copy the code.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not from index, like the update the index code. Yeah, I think some instruction was missed. All right, guys, let's take a quick break right now, and you know, let me give you all guys the code for Perplexity Pro subscriptions, and then you guys can all grab pizzas, and then after like a quick 5-10 minute break, we will complete the popular jobs.js, which is the final element of our workshop, and then we should be good. Just a second, guys. Guys, quick thing. So Perplexity, right? Yeah, most of us might already know about it. It's more like a wrapper website. What it does is wrap all the data from, it has different large language models. It has O3 Mini. It also has, the O1 by ChatGPT, and then it also has the R1 by DeepSeek. Now, the best thing about Perplexity is you guys might have seen use DeepSeeks on their website, but probably not have used it, hosted in the US. The part about Perplexity is, they're hosting the website in the US.
React Native, like something for most of us.
It is everything for mobile. Yeah, but we just did not do it because a lot of work.
So like for React app, I have Django backend.
Here you go. Scan the QR code, and you will have 6 months of free Perplexity Pro subscription. Once you guys are signed up, you should be able to try the DeepSeek R1. I think the best thing about Perplexity is certain searches which are like censored by DeepSeek. You can still search those things on using Perplexity Pro, and you should be able to see the results that DeepSeek might display. One of the other things is it loads instantly, not like running through DeepSeek's website. DeepSeek is a bit slow in that sense, versus if you use the R1, it loads instantly. Let me just show you guys like a quick
It's done for React.
demonstration. So you go on Perplexity Mini, like Perplexity AI, and you can select your reasoning model from here. So I have like R1, I have O3 Mini. I've been using R1 to summarize the notes for some of the classes, and it's just amazing. So yeah, I would definitely suggest you guys to give this a try. And yeah, let's take a quick pizza break.
Yeah, these ones you left.
But you already decided. Scrum Master. I think I used C and Tailwind both. Yeah, so these things are.
That's the website.
This,
That's
Yeah.
it's
That's me.
It's used like as a tech stack.
this one I've
Next.
seen it in
JS Masters.
yeah, okay, template.
Yeah, he has the code, but I like JS Mastery so much, but I don't like that he does not update his codes. So if you, yeah, if you use his code, so you don't want to code everything, right?
Yes. Tutorial, oh my god.
Yeah, like you copy pasting this work, right?
It seems like.
But if you copy paste his code, it won't work.
Dude, it seems like he doesn't like.
Yeah, you have to change it.
So but still, this was worth it. I was like, okay, let's.
It looks good, like explain what you do. Just do it,
That is one of the problems.
You're like, oh, let's just like.
Copy this, copy that.
I need to make a website. I haven't done a personal website. What you
Guys, can you please form a line for the pizzas? We'll give out the pizzas and then
So
let's just finish the popular jobs and we should be good with the app.
Messenger,
Why not first
you
one?
can buy a domain there as well.
Yeah, why not first?
Marcel is free.
If you guys were having any issues running the app, we can understand. I think in the evening there was an issue with ASU Wi-Fi and Duo Mobile. So Duo Mobile and ASU Wi-Fi crashed somewhere around 5 p.m. I think that's one of the reasons. I was just going through UTO's message. So that's one of the reasons we are having issues with the ASU Wi-Fi. But if you guys are on Android, it should probably work for you all.
Got it?
We will also be uploading this on our YouTube channel, Developer Student Clubs at ASU, and you should be able to see this.
Enable how many?
For that I have used the. Is it for?
That's really really.
Sentry.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's like that. You also. Just gonna grab the whole thing.
I haven't messed with that one. I think maybe you pasted the index. Let's get this and we'll figure this. Yeah, this guy is young. It's not a club.
Excuse me. I see
Pushing and pulling.
Both of them are vegetarian. I don't know about eggs, but they don't have meat.
That's enough. What's the last one so packed? This is intro to backend. This is intro to like happening. Yeah, everybody did leave right after the pizza.
Like.
That's not.
It's not going.
Oh, yeah.
It goes to all the clubs.
No meat?
I want you to
I did until the part.
You got or think you got.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, that's fine. Issue with the.
Oh, by the way, guys, also a quick announcement. So next one of our workshops, we're thinking of hosting this one workshop which is related to AR game development. I don't think it has been hosted ever at ASU before. So we will be creating, these VR games using Unity. we will be bringing out quests, like quest headsets, and we will be showing how you can actually build your own games in Unity. And I don't think we'll be able to complete the full game because we have time foundations obviously, and then it's complicated. Like game development, it's not super easy. But we will be bringing out quest headsets, and you should be able to see that what your game might actually look like once it's fully complete. And we will provide the source code for it. Once you guys have coded it completely, uh, go through the steps step by step. Even some of us, here weren't able to completely make the app because I think the problem was, some of us were running into issues with the ASU Wi-Fi or directory. But I think the Notion page should be pretty much self-explanatory. If you go back home, you should be able to, go step by step, and you should be able to make your own app. That's in the exact same procedure we'll be providing for the XR development as well. The game development that we'll be doing. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Right. Also,
Next week we have a speaker coming from Intel. So they'll be having this workshop. It's a part of our Wireside workshop, but they'll be giving a talk on how you can score internships and jobs uh in the current market. So you guys can feel free to drop by. Other than that, you already know our schedule. Alternate weeks we host Wireside, and alternate weeks we host these workshops. If you guys have any questions, you can talk to us after the event.
Work on your story. Damn, but I think we're- I'm here, like- That's all. Bro, it's big. Good.
I feel loved it. Just imagining your head.
Creating like classes to use image and then you're exporting it, then you're reporting that.
All right, if you guys are good, just
Normally this.
we'll just proceed on with the popular jobs one, and it's the final element actually. So we should be all good after this. It's the very final thing. If you guys are still grabbing pizzas, just take a quick look at it, and you can do this at home as well. So if you guys go and see the code for popularjobs.js, so what we're basically doing in popularjobs.js, X, is showing the most popular internships and jobs that are available right now. And I will also show you how it's supposed to look like once the app is fully complete. Like the app, I will display it over here. But let's just complete the popularjobs.js. You go back to your directory where we have the popularjobs.js up over here. We just save it, right? All right. Now, I don't think we can project our phones on the screen using HDMI because we don't, have support for HDMI in our phones. But when we coded this app, when I made this app, we also took a screenshot. So Yesh here has taken a screenshot of the app in his Android phone. So let me show you guys quickly how it's supposed to look like. All right. So this is what your app will look like once you have like completed, once you have completed the code walkthrough and like added the features that we have given on Notion. So it will show your name up on the top, just with a greeting, and then you will be seeing the perfect jobs. And then you can click on full-time, part-time, internships, and it will show you the recent jobs that you applied to. Now, the very basic functionality that we can implement in this is you can have some API calls, and then you can dynamically fetch the data and see what jobs you actually, applied, and they will all show up in your personal job tracking application app. So that's all from this workshop, guys. What you guys can do is, I've also added the comments to, how you guys can publish it to your GitHub, because we started coding on GitHub. Once you guys are done, you can, put it on your resume that you made a job application tracking system.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all from our side. Thanks a lot, guys. Hopefully see you guys in the next one.
We're done.